All right. All right, everybody, come on in, come on in. Thank you all so much for being here. For anybody new here, hi, I'm Maggie, the substitute teacher. You may know me for my cooking channel. I make food and femininity content. And Lucy and I are the proud founders of the Finishing School for the Modern Woman, where we teach women to be the best version of themselves with femininity, elegance, and etiquette. We just wrapped up an incredible first session for our Wife Lessons 4-week class. So today, we, as we always do twice a week, like to come here and share with you all our community service to give back and give you the perspective of two older women from traditional relationships. So Lucy, please introduce yourself. And then I have a video we're reacting to today.
Hi, Maggie. Hi, everyone. Yes, we just finished the first session of 4 incredible weeks. An amazing group of women wanting to be wives. That is, to me, gives me hope. It allows me to see in the future how we can create better societies, creating these women that really want to be wives. I have a channel that mostly focuses on issues for women after a certain age, etiquette, femininity, anything to do with women over a certain age. But today we are looking at one of the videos that Maggie is going to present.
Yes. So you all know in our community, we love bringing you all into the conversation. And I actually got a request from Condemnedya, the condemned man. He found a video on Chantelle Simone's page and asked us if we would react to it. And this could be helpful to a lot of women who maybe think their independence or being a boss babe might be holding them back. So the video is called Independent Women Make the Worst Wives. So get triggered now if you must. I'm going to give you all your 2 disclaimers and then we're going to get right into it. And I do appreciate Chantelle for giving us permission. I did ask if we could react to her content and she said she would even tune in. All right. So 2 things. Again, we are 2 older women. We believe in husbands and wives, men and women, boys and girls, mom and dad. If you believe in something other than that, that's fine. Just do it over there because over here you probably won't be happy. And then if you want to watch the video uninterrupted, as always, I've linked it in the description so you can watch it. So we are going to just kick it off and then we will interject with our comments. And as always, we love to know what you all think. So please give us your thoughts and we'll add you to the conversation. All right, so I'm going to mute myself and share my screen and let's begin.
YouTube, big up on yourself. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Y'all, I came across this clip and I want us to watch it together. Y'all, this is a valuable lesson. It's a little long. It's about 3 minutes long, but y'all just take the 3 minutes, watch this video on speed if you must, but we're going to take something away from this. Before we dive into it, make sure you hit the like button. And if you're not subscribed yet, come on, hit the subscribe button. Let us watch this, y'all.
Is what they mean when they say marriage is hard.
All right, this might be me being extra, but I just want to explain what's happening here, and then I'm going to play the whole 3 minutes uninterrupted, okay? And it is in Espanol, but I believe this is a husband and wife team. They are trying to arrange some bottles in a certain color order. Underneath what they can see are bottles that will give them a perfect score. And so they are moving the bottles and then the scorekeeper is telling them how many they have right. And you will watch and see how it changes as the husband and wife work together. All right. Have you seen this one, Lucy? All right. Let's go back in.
Cero acierto. Un acierto.
So they're basically trying to match the bottles. Y'all, watch the dynamic between, I think this is husband and wife. Watch the dynamic between them, y'all.
Cero acierto.
Pay attention who is right, and then pay attention who has the need.
El naranja déjalo ahí.
0 acierto.
No muevas eso.
1 acierto. 0 acierto.
Bien.
2 acierto.
El rosa, el fucsia.
No, el fucsia va.
Kevin Samuels talks a lot about that need to be right. Rest in peace, Kevin Samuels.
2 acierto.
No, Ramón, deja el naranja aquí porque el naranja va aquí.
Un
hacia
acierto.
el naranja. Déjalo aquí, no lo
Naranja.
muevas. Sí, el naranja va aquí. Y el fucsia también, déjalo ahí. Esto no lo muevas, mueves de aquí para allá.
0 acierto.
Viste que no sabe.
0 acierto.
Bien.
1
El
acierto.
rojo es el otro que...
El rojo va aquí.
0 acierto.
Bien. Vamos bien.
Bien.
Sí, porque estoy haciendo un descartamiento. Ujú.
1 acierto.
Ya.
Ahí.
0 acierto.
Hard-headed women make the worst
1
wives.
acierto.
El azul,
El fucsia va aquí.
Hard-headed. Just want to be right.
1
El
acierto.
fucsia.
See?
No me muevas el fucsia.
Till our dead,
el
right?
rojo.
No me muevas ni el fucsia ni el naranja. Este si tú quieres mueve, pero el fucsia y el naranja son aciertos. Pero no, esto no me va. Uno. Esto no me lo muevas. No me lo.
3
Tres.
acierto.
Este y el rojo.
El fucsia, el naranja y el rojo aquí.
0 acierto.
No se está equivocando. Él a veces se equivoca.
Él.
Sí.
No sé, no
Pero
es
tú
tú.
sigue, no, el jurado, pero tú dale. No le pongas cuidado, tú solo escúchame a mí. Esto no lo muevas.
¿Cuáles dos?
Esto desde el principio yo sé que estos son aciertos.
1
El
acierto.
rojo va aquí.
Un acierto, es este el acierto.
God bless his heart.
Ahorita que dice 0, mira.
0 acierto.
No sabe. Pero tú juegas, no sabe.
Vengo yo.
Sí, pero es para que no
So
me
if you
muevas
switch
esto.
it and you set 0, then wouldn't you switch it back?
Pero ya ves que yo quiero
Sí,
jugar.
pero es que tú me estás dañando la jugada a mí también.
Yo quiero jugar.
She don't want him touch those two, even though it's 0.
Lo dijo hace ratico.
Oh God, this stresses me out.
3 acierto.
Sí, pero ¿por qué le llamas?
Porque no sabe, el jurado no sabe. Así déjame.
1 acierto.
El fucsia y el naranja, yo siempre lo digo. Te vas a caer tú solito. No estás jugando bien.
No, así.
Vas a perder. No. Te dije aquí
Here
el
she's
naranja
talking
y
to
aquí
him.
el fucsia.
Well, we can't understand what they're saying.
No
That
va.
tone, that
Voltealo.
body
Aquí va el
language.
fucsia. No, aquí va el fucsia.
¿Así?
Sí.
5 acierto.
Y'all, pay attention to her facial expression.
This is what they
Whew. So the Condemned said this video had me fuming with my limited Spanish. So I'm going to tell you all what stood out to me. So clearly, oh, wow. The man, when he finally did it his way, they got all of the points. And every time he would change something, she would change it back. What stood out to me, there was a point where she said, either like no sabe, which I believe is like, I don't know. And she said something like, tú puedes, like you do it, you can do it. So she admitted that, okay, I don't know. But as soon as he went to move the bottles, then she started controlling him again. So Lucy, the Condemned is saying, I hope you give communication context. So please, we would love to hear from you.
Okay, so I made a couple of comments. Okay, so she said, you see, you don't know. Do not move the pink or the orange. He sometimes gets it wrong. The guy doing the counting, she said that the guy that doing the counting was getting it wrong. It was never about her. It was everybody else being wrong. She said, you're ruining my ideas too. The judge doesn't know, and you're going to fail alone. So it was all about him. Everything. He was doing everything wrong according to her. And it's funny because that's a Venezuelan couple. So the Spanish is like, my God, that's Venezuela. So again, it was just interesting how he was trying to do the logical thing. She was going on, I'm going to do whatever I do. And, whoever is doing the counting or looking at the colors, they're getting it wrong. It's never me.
Okay, so let's unpack this, you all. This video, it really says so much. And thank you for that context, Lucy. I didn't know. So for those of you all, if you saw it, so the judge is on our side of the camera. So we can see the bottles at the bottom, of which they can't see. And they're trying to work together blindly to make it match. And for her to say the judge, who can see with his own eyes, the scorekeeper, doesn't know what his own eyes are telling him. Like Chantelle said, the need to be right. And ladies, we just talked about humility in our wife class. There's nothing wrong with saying, I don't know everything. Every time she moved it and the score would go down and he would try to change it, she would have something to say. If our best effort isn't working, ladies, we need to accept that we could learn something. We don't know everything. The other thing that stood out to me, Jurgen says that was foreseeable. Did you all notice how she ratcheted it up? So this woman in stature, she's smaller than him. This man is there, and she became louder, more aggressive. She started like shrieking in her voice as she's freaking out and basically letting him know that what he was doing was not right, even though it was right. So hopefully, ladies, and the Condemned wanted me to react to this because he said this could help a lot of women. Hopefully seeing this behavior in another woman, showing how, because we are emotional creatures and we don't really think with logic sometimes, our emotions get the best of us and we become chaotic. Even when something is as plain as a score, right or wrong, we just see red and we just cannot allow ourselves to be wrong or be corrected. Bert says she's always got to be right. That is so incredibly sad. And I am surprised. I don't know a man that would stay there and let me continue doing that. Like mine would be like, you figure it out your doggone self. You're not going to be, men usually will try and then they'll wash their hands of us. All right. Anything else to add, Lucy, or we'll go back in and see what Chantelle has to say?
No, that was a beautiful thing to see. It's one of those opportunities that she had to have said, you know what, baby, give it your best shot. Let's see if what you do works out for us. And then kind of, try to figure it out in a more calm way. I guess maybe it was a timing issue too. But again, it goes back to how emotional we can get and how crazy we can get when it's that competition that we don't, it keeps us from thinking the right way. So again, it's a fascinating little 3 minutes of just complete chaos.
Complete chaos. Let's see what else Chantelle has to say.
They mean when they say marriage
Wait,
is hard.
hold on. You see her facial expression when they won? This lady did not want to win at this game. She wanted to be right. Y'all saw her face when they won and got all 5? How upset she was? This proves that this lady did not necessarily want to win at the game. She had the need to be right. She wanted to be right more than she wanted to win. We're talking about a dynamic between a husband and a wife. A woman like that cannot take leadership, cannot take telling you, cannot lead a hard-headed woman nowhere. They're so selfish, and a lot of modern women, let me get into it. Let me preach. Y'all hit the like button. We're going to preach. A lot of modern women have this hard-headedness, both us. Actually, both y'all, because I'm redeemed. Praise the Lord. I learned my lesson. I did the work. I sat in therapy and I did what I had to do to drop those toxic traits.
All right, I want to unpack this a little bit because I'm actually going to unwind. Oh, was I not sharing my screen? Oh, sorry, y'all. I don't know if I was sharing my screen. Oh, the video isn't up. Okay, I'm going to actually rewind. Thank you for that. I've got multiple tabs on you guys. My apologies. But I want to rewind back. Chantelle said, look at her facial expressions when they got all of them right. Okay, so I'm going to rewind back to the end of the game so you all can see. And the goal of this is to work together as a team to match all of the colors. She's screaming at this man that he's getting it wrong, even when he's getting it right. And thankfully, Lucy told us she's actually telling him, not only are you wrong, but the scorekeeper is wrong. We just finished up some wife lessons. One of the many things that I told the women is, as we make our husbands' lives easier, we're actually making our own lives easier too. But so many modern women, it's all about me, and that selfishness, that lack of humility. This is the hill that we are going to die on. Everything can get wrong. Everything can be wrong, but it's not my fault. It's your fault because you're incompetent. It's the scorekeeper's fault because his eyes aren't telling him what he's seeing. And I think Kevin Samuels used to say there's a difference. Do you want to be right or do you want to be correct? And ladies, if you have that need to be right, especially those of us with our big jobs, right? When you have these skills that make you combative and competitive, maybe it helps you in one arena, it's absolutely going to hurt you in another arena. What would you add, Lucy?
Thank you, TCM, for the donation. Hold on. For the donation, so much for the translation, he said. Yes, you are so welcome. It's fascinating to just listening to her saying that he's always the one that's wrong. He's the one, it's that need to be right. And again, when you get to a point where you're telling men that that I'm the only one that's right, men just, they check out. They're like, okay, if that's how you want to be, then they're going to be on their side. And it's like, they're going to allow you to be a fool. And then unfortunately, if you're not in a relationship, they're just going to let you do whatever you want. And if you are in a marriage, if you're the one that always has that need to be right, your husband is probably going to be wanting to be going fishing, going everywhere else, but to be with you, to be with that combative woman that's always going to be there, just wanting him to tell him how wrong he is about things.
That is so true. And before we go back into this, a couple of things just stood out to me, especially since, Lucy and I have a heart for women who want to be wives. When we think about this, we're using this as a teachable moment, yes, but this was a public display. Imagine how she treats him every day at home. I know Bert said, I would not put up with her for 3 months. And most men, masculine men, are just like, yeah, you can go do that over there. But when we talk about what's important to husbands is respect more than love, this could have been fun, even if we didn't get them all right, even if we didn't beat the buzzer. This is a time for us to have fun, to laugh about something. But when you're so competitive the way that she is, it's a very masculine trait that is not attractive to men. You can see he's getting increasingly frustrated with her. I do want to go back and look at her facial expressions when they won because of his moves, not her, which shows that she doesn't respect her man. She doesn't look at his success as our success. She looks at my success, competes with his success. That's not what a wife is. That's one of the things we talked about. When you are a unit, when you are a team, however we get there together and we celebrate together. So this time I'm going to share my screen and I have rewound it back. And for those of you all who just hopped in, what we're looking at is from the scorekeeper's point of view. There are bottles at the bottom shelf that only the scorekeeper can see, not the couple. The couple are supposed to be working together to rearrange the bottles, and then the scorekeeper will tell them if it's a match. And every time she moves it, it's wrong. Every time he moves it, it's right. So I'm going to rewatch that and look at her facial expression when they do get the perfect score.
¿Pero por qué le llaman?
Porque no sabe, el jurado no sabe. Así déjame.
Un acierto.
El puse ahí en naranja, yo siempre lo vi. Te vas a caer tú solito. Te vas a caer tú solito. No estás jugando bien.
¿Cómo así?
Vas a perder. No. Te dije aquí
Hero
el
should
naranja
talking
y
to
aquí
him.
el fucsia.
Well, we can't understand what they're saying.
No
That
va,
tone, that
voltealo.
body
Aquí va el
language.
fucsia. No, aquí va el fucsia.
¿Así?
Sí.
Sí, fue cierto. ¿Viste? Yo te dije.
Y'all.
Oh my goodness. Okay, hopefully you all saw it this time. Her face, she was so disgusted that he was right. Now let's just unpack that for a moment. What kind of wife is that? Babe, I got a promotion. Babe, I got a new opportunity. Hey babe, this great thing happened today. And you come home to, ladies, if you wonder why the men that you want don't want you, maybe it's because you're not showing up as the wife that they need. Our men, like Lucy says, our men want to be our heroes. It's important that we celebrate them. I would argue, if you want something traditional, celebrate your man before you celebrate yourself. Believe me, it will reciprocate in kind, but that could have been an opportunity. Love to give you all some tangible tips. Babe, you are so good at this stuff. Like, I am not spatial. I do not do well with these kinds of things. Thank you so much. I could have never gotten this right. You are so smart. Why not? Why not take something that doesn't cost you anything and pay him a compliment? Be supportive. Man, I thought I knew, but clearly I was wrong. You saved the day. Why not give him that support and leave him with his, chest swollen out like, yeah, man, my wife thinks I'm, the king of the world. But instead, she looked at him like she was disgusted. What would you add, Lucy?
That was the opportunity to say, oh my God, baby, you did it. And then you start jumping and, rocking the boat and going crazy over having him winning whatever they were going to win. And instead, she looks at him like, okay, whatever. I mean, how discouraging is that? For me, my only hope is that it's a skit and it's not real life, because that must be a horrible, horrible marriage to be in for a woman to not celebrate her husband's accomplishments. He was the one, he did it. Because if it would have been for her, they would have lost.
They kept losing. Did you all notice that? Go back and watch it. And again, I've linked Chantelle's video in there. It's just 3 minutes. Every time he made a move, it was right. And she just was so blinded by competition, she could not let him be right. The need to be right. So women, if you see some of those qualities in yourself, if you like to debate, if you have to make that point, if you got a slick lip, if you always got to have the last word, if you can't just leave well enough alone and you are alone and don't want to be, that could be part of the reason why. Because honestly, after this happened, I never thought about it being a skit. Maybe it's fake, but what happens when they go home and he's looking at her and she's looking at him? Does that bring them closer? Does that make him want to run home to that kind of woman? That a bottle game would bring out the dragon in her, where it could just be something fun, even if we got all 0 points, but our relationship is better. Let's see what y'all are saying in the chat. Jurgen said it. He said more and more companies are going bankrupt, and this is the reason why. Well, I will say this, ladies, you can do whatever you want to do. I always say that we are not equal. We are equally valued. And I will speak for myself. I know that I am not mechanical. I know that I am not like a fixer. I can't do that. My brain does not think in that engineering kind of way. I have other skills. And so I really appreciate it when men are able to see things that I don't see. My man came over, he's like, I'm going to go do this thing to the engine. What is that? I didn't even know it needed that. He was like, of course you didn't. But I appreciate that. There's nothing wrong with not being perfect at everything. I think it's wonderful to show our men appreciation for what they can easily or more easily do. Thank you for being here, Underrated Darkness. Hello, Vel. So good to see you. We are so happy to have you here. Hello, Lady C is in the house. And yes, ladies, this is why we share this content, so you can learn from other people's mistakes. The Condemned, he asked us to respond to this video. He says, we want a cheerleader, not a hater. So ladies, just like you want your man to be your hero, just like you want to look at him with admiration, he wants us to look at him with appreciation. Do you cheer him on? I'm his #1 fan. Even if I don't know, that's great, baby. So proud of you. You closed the deal. You made that move. You had the interview, got the promotion, whatever it is. That's wonderful. Where else in the world is he going to get it from if not from his woman? Where else in the world should he get it from if not from his woman? I'll wait. Oh, Rodney says compliments are free, but very valuable to our egos when earnestly given. Absolutely. Bert says, I would hate to go home with that battle axe. Exactly. Can you all imagine? You bought the wrong kind of milk. I tell you every time, get soy milk, not almond milk. Really? Oh, all right. Bert says she'd be alone because I'd be gone. Absolutely. Hello, Kimberly. So good to see you again. Hello, Escape the Rat Race. And the underrated darkness is men aren't getting married anymore. They'd rather be alone. Yeah, ladies, Lucy said this in our class. Men don't necessarily need us, they choose us. Now, again, the feminists can run screaming for the hills, but like my man will tell you, ladies, you can have it your way. You buy the ring, you propose, you join the workforce for 50 years, and you get a man to get on your program. Easy fix, right? But we don't want that. We want something from him. So if that's the case, we need to give something that he sees as valuable. All right, what would you add, Lucy?
I think that this is a great illustration on how relationships can just go out of control with a woman that fails to appreciate what the man can bring into the relationship. I mean, it's just that's a woman that is going to have her husband look for other things outside. The husband's not going to be wanting to come back home because there's going to be a contention every time that he walks in. You know, whether he brought the leaves from fall in the house and she had to clean them up or just whatever. Again, it feels great to have a husband that wants to be in the house because he feels that this is his safe environment with a wonderful wife that will cook and do whatever he wants and will leave him alone. Again, it's okay to leave our men alone. We don't have to be with them all the time. And this woman is probably on this man's back all the time, telling him what he did wrong on every single little step that he takes. That is so sad.
It is sad. I'm going to go back and play what I was playing before without showing y'all. But imagine the next time she says, hey, babe, let's play this game. Hey, babe, let's do this thing. Hey, babe, let's join this club. What do you think he's going to say? All right, so let's go back in and pick up where we are. And she's talking about her body language. Before I can even say anything, okay, you all know him and you love him. He is our #1 sponsor on these streams. Everybody put Thane in the chat. He says, I will bet Madam believes she has settled for that man. Ooh, what do we talk about? Lack of respect. Thane, thank you so much. $100, so incredibly generous. And I told the ladies, you looked at our curriculum before I taught it to them. So thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, let's go back in.
Pay attention to her facial expression.
This is what they mean when they say marriage
Wait,
is hard.
hold on. You see her facial expression when they won? This lady did not want to win at this game. She wanted to be right. Y'all saw her face when they won and got all 5? How upset she was? This proves that this lady did not necessarily want to win at the game. She had the need to be right. She wanted to be right more than she wanted to win. We're talking about a dynamic between a husband and a wife. A woman like that cannot take leadership, cannot take telling you, cannot lead a hard-headed woman nowhere. They're so selfish, and a lot of modern women, let me get into it. Let me preach. Y'all hit the like button. We're going to preach. A lot of modern women have this hard-headedness about us. Actually, about y'all, because I'm redeemed. Praise the Lord. I learned my lesson. I did the work. I sat in therapy and I did what I had to do to drop those toxic traits. So I'm not going to mix myself into that category. A lot of y'all too hard-headed, stuck in that need to be right, stuck in that, oh, I'm an independent woman, nobody can tell me nothing. To what extent? But at the same time, y'all want an alpha male. At the same time, y'all want a man to lead, protect, provide. How you gonna provide for somebody who is not even gonna take telling from you?
Come on, man. You don't know better than that as a crew person. Come on, man.
Let me tell y'all, the hard-headedness in this woman will make this man life a disaster. Okay? She is more concerned about being right. That need to be right. She's more concerned about being right than actually winning a game with her husband. Than actually focusing on the end goal. Y'all saw her face when they won. She was upset that her husband was right rather than rejoicing that they won the game. Make it make sense, y'all. Make it make sense. We're Kevin Samuels.
All right, so let's unpack this a little bit. I want to see what you all are saying in the chat, but yes, absolutely. The Mikey story says everybody needs somebody in some kind of way. After all, you can't drive the bus and then get off at your stop. And ladies, look, I always say we're not equal. We are equally valued. And yes, somebody has to lead, but that woman is, like Chantelle said, probably somebody who would said, you know, where are all the good men? Where are the men at? Why won't you be a man? He's trying to show you leadership and you jump all over him. Thank you all so much for being here in the chat. Let's see what else you all are saying. Oh my goodness. The Condemned says, yes, ladies, be his cheerleader. Be his number one fan. That's a big one. That's a big one. Bert's not going home to that. I hear you. I hear you. And he would leave her. A lot of women have found themselves alone and they don't know why. And Lucy talked about this in the class we just did. Ladies, if you ever get feedback from a man, consider that a gift, even if it hurts in the moment, because he didn't have to say anything. I have talked to many men and they will tell you, yeah, if we don't care, we will just let you crash out and watch it happen with our popcorn. So nobody's coming to rescue you. So if a man is telling you, hey, cool it, that's not okay, you would be wise to take that advice. And the Underrated says, yeah, a lot of men aren't getting married anymore. They'd rather be alone. Sinji says there's only 2 dragons we should admire. Shout out to the Game of Thrones. Yes, absolutely. Gillis is saying, if this is real and not a skit, I don't think it's a character that can be changed. Only evil people have a bad reaction to something good. Well, you might be right about that. And ladies, there are some things that are fixable, but not everything is fixable. My concern is when I look at this woman, how easily she escalated. She went from 0 to 10, just like that with her man, over a 3-minute game. This is something that doesn't matter in the grand scheme of life. Imagine when there are real issues in the marriage, health issues, financial issues, family issues. This woman is going to be a tyrant to live with, to negotiate with, to go through any type of life change with, if she's going to act that way over a game. Number 2, for me, the fact that she's doing this in public. Ladies, I'm going to give you a cheat code. If you have any concerns with your man, your husband, that is between you and him privately. Like I told the ladies in the wife class, every man is looking for his first lady. Not just the president, not just the pastor. Every man wants the feminine asset to his masculine brand. So if you have concerns, absolutely, there's a time and a place to bring them up. If you disagree, there's a time and place to say that, but never in mixed company, because that is disrespect to a man. And she completely disrespected this man in public. What would you add, Lucy?
I agree, and the fact that that she allowed herself to show him in a bad light, and also telling the juror that they were wrong. I mean, it's hard for me. It's hard to relate to that behavior because it's just not it's not part of my environment. And that's where us women, that's where we have to make it a point. When you see some nonsense like that, you distance yourself from that. Because again, you don't want it around your area. You don't want it around your sane environment, because those women will bring on that nonsense into your world. They're going to try to bring you in to try to connect with you and say, isn't he right? Isn't that right? Aren't I right? So again, when you see that kind of behavior, distance yourself from it, because those are really chaotic personalities that you just don't want near your environment.
That is so true. And we're going to go back in. But ladies, if you have chaotic friends, if you look at that and say, I would never do that, because I can honestly say, I cannot imagine myself acting like that. It would be one time in a row. But if you have these type of friends in your circle, believe me, that's just who they are, and it's going to bleed out. And if you seem happy and at peace, they're the ones who are going to try and throw rocks and ask you questions. Well, was he really working late? Well, are you sure they're just, childhood friends, whatever it is. So be very careful. And, some women, I had to tell a woman that I was coaching, when men look at claiming us as their own, they look at everything that comes with us. So if you have chaos around you, a man will say, how is that going to be peace for me? Rodney says that, how can a woman's chaotic nature be a man's peace? So if you say, not I, said the fly, that's fine. But every time you go out with your friends, it's always something. Somebody's always getting into trouble. Someone's always acting out of character. Somebody's always getting loud and unruly. Men don't want that. So if that's what you choose, be happy with your choices. Let's go back in and see what else Chantelle has to say.
Yeah. You can't make this shit up, people. You cannot make this shit up.
Young ladies, I'm encouraging you to take a step back and do some self-reflection. Is this you? Do you have these kind of qualities? Do you have these kind of traits? Do you feel like your pride and ego comes before your love life? Can you take telling from a man? If a man say go left and in your hearts you believe that the right thing is to go right, will you be able to humble yourself, put your pride to the side and go left with this man? If the answer to that is no, then you're not ready for the kind of man you say you desire. Sit in a therapist's chair, do the inner work, self-reflect, bawl if you have to. I'm going to share a story with y'all, a private story, I guess. I don't know the word I'm looking for, but I'm going to share a story with y'all real quick. Back when I was doing my, reflection and looking into myself and asking myself the hard question, like, dang, why my love life sucks. And I came to the realization that you are the average of your 5 closest friends or something like that. And when I look at my 5 closest friends at the time, they were very masculine, very hard-headed, very independent, driven, career woman who the alpha male. And I'm like, dang, if I'm the average of my 5 closest friends and my 5 closest friends are all am I? It was a hard pill to swallow. And when I tell y'all, I bawled when I realized that. I cried living eye water, bawl when I realized that, because I'm like, damn, that's not who I desire to be. And the kind of man that I want, not gonna want a woman like that. And that I came to that realization even after I found Kevin Samuels, even after I started my YouTube channel. And just to open up, I'm not coming from a place of perfection. I say that all the time. I am still learning. So I'm coming to certain realizations even now.
All right. So I want to unpack that. Ladies, here's an assignment for you. I know someone made a comment about me giving assignments, but you can ask yourself, or you can keep doing what you're doing if it's working out for you. And I sincerely mean that. Good for you. But how do you react when your man tells you no? And it's not a conversation, and it's not up for debate. Like Thane says, he's here with us. We have to submit to being a wife before we are married. My man will tell you, you have to be a mother before you are a mother, which means you have to have these qualities that show up so that the man that you want can see you and instantly separate you from the crowd and say, that's going to be useful to me. So if someone tells you no, Is there something inside you that's just like, I got to fight back? I got to have the last word. I got to prove to you why you're wrong in front of all these witnesses. If that is who you are, like Chantelle says, you're not ready, because part of being a wife means we have to submit. And I do want to say this. We had a question, and I know sometimes women say, well, what if he is wrong? Here's the thing about men that we don't understand. Men do so much self-criticism. And it is so important to a man that his woman supports him. So even if the colors on the bottles are wrong, even if he takes a wrong turn, your faith in his decision-making, your support of him at being the leader in the relationship and just saying, babe, it's fine. You know what? I trust you. Everything will be fine. That does so much for a man, instead of you henpecking him and telling him, see, I told you, you should have turned left when you turned right. Everything that we do as feminine women should be bringing relationships together, should be bringing people together. We are not the divisive ones. Men are disagreeable by nature. That is how they survive. They have to challenge, they have to hunt, they have to fight, they have to problem solve. If you want to be a feminine woman, we are agreeable by nature. That is how we survive. If you want to be claimed, if you want to be spoken for, if you want to be somebody's wife, he has to know you are part of the team. You are part of the vision. If not, then you're on the outside and you can do it by yourself. What would you add, Lucy?
And I think the fact that we are willing to give that that part of us not wanting to be the alphas and the fixers and the problem solvers, I mean, that gives you, again, that ease of just living life in your feminine and self. Why would you want to take on those responsibilities that come with men? Men are wired to do that. We are not. So again, we're fighting against our nature when we start wanting to become those alpha, I want to do it all. Why? It makes it easier for us to allow our men to say, you know what, babe? You know what? I trust you completely. And if it goes wrong, it goes wrong. Okay, well, he took the chance. God bless him. That's great. We'll move on. Do not bring it back to rub it on him, to rub it off on him again, how he made that one decision 10 years ago, because you know what? Now we're here and you can change the past and you move on.
Absolutely. Let's see what y'all are saying in the chat. Bert says, I'd love to have a wonderful wife that would like to be married and like to know what she's got in a husband. Yes, absolutely, ladies. He needs to hear it from you. You don't want him to hear it from somebody else. I'll leave that right there. Everybody shouting out to Thane. Yes, we love it when Mufasa Thane is in the house. He keeps us all in check. Yes, thank you so much for dialing in and listening. Thank you, Sinji. All right, everybody. The Underrated says women don't value being married like in the past, with longevity and a deal with good and bad times together. Yeah, we just talked about that in the wife class, for better or for worse. And there are going to be some rough times, ladies, but it shouldn't be the rough times that we create. That was absolutely unnecessary. She didn't have to do that to that man for the world to see. And now we're all learning from it. But I feel for the men, because that's got to be so emasculating. And we're glad you're here too. Jürgen says, these are the reasons why men distance themselves from relationships with modern women. Yes, ladies, some of your character traits, some of the habits that you've picked up that might have worked for you in other arenas may be the ones keeping you single. All right. So shout out to everyone. What does Killa say? Think about it, guys. I would understand maybe if she celebrated the win and then got mad and pouty that she didn't get the win. But the immediate nastiness, it was a natural reflex. I'm going to respectfully disagree again. I think if we are a team, I don't care who moves the bottles. We won. I think if the man won and she put on that fake smile, good for you. But inside, she was like, should have been my way. Still not a wife, because we talked about this in the wife class. It has to be part of who you are, like a calling. Like you have to want to submit to, you know what? whatever works for you works for the relationship. If you are with a husband, I think having that, because it's just going to fester and it's just going to come out. So I would disagree. Rodney says the escalation of difficult situations is a clear sign of immaturity. People of maturity de-escalate difficult situations. That is such a good point. What if in this example, she was like, babe, you've got it. What if she was his cheerleader? He's moving, like I would be hands off because I'm already stressed just watching it. And what if he's moving the bottles and they get a lower score? And she's like, that's okay, babe, you've got it. Try again. Imagine how that would be different if she was cheering him on instead of screaming at him and shrieking at him. Ladies, we are the ones that we can set the temperature in a room. We can walk into a space and people's shoulders drop and be like, goodness here, everything's going to be okay. Or we can be that woman that comes in the room and everybody's shoulders stiffen up because we don't know what side of the bed did she wake up on. Is it going to be a Monstar today? And Lady C says, this is learned behavior from childhood or toxic upbringing. However she got it, this is who she is, and it's not helping her at all. Hopefully it's helping you all to see, but it's completely unacceptable. What would you add, Lucy?
I kind of agree with Killis's comment. She said something to do with it comes naturally to her. It was a natural reflex. That contempt, it's in her. She cannot change, even if she tried to be differently. It comes that that contempt, that disagreeableness. It is natural. She cannot change it. Again, if it's a skit, maybe, they played it all around. But if it's real, I think it comes with her. I don't think she could ever change it.
There you go. Let's go back in and see what Chantelle has to say.
I had years and years of programming, being this overly independent, being this go to school and don't take no telling from the man because you're a man clown. Don't be no yamed for the man. Don't let the man tell you what to do. Get your education, because even when you have a man and him gone, your education not gonna go nowhere. All of those advice I got when I was younger was seep into my mind, was seep into my subconscious. So it's not going to be night and day. Oh, I found Kevin Samuels, and all of a sudden I'm a feminine woman. All of a sudden I'm a submissive woman because I started a YouTube channel. No, to be transparent with y'all, I am still working on myself. And to see a video like this, honestly, it kind of, this was probably me a couple years ago. I mean, I know this is some of the friends that I used to associate myself with. Definitely, for sure. That's some of them. I had to take a huge pill, humble myself, and do the work so I can attract the quality man that I want in my life. So I can attract a masculine leader, right? An alpha male, because you can't have two alpha. You can't have two chefs in the kitchen, two bull in a pen, right? You need a pilot and a co-pilot. Anyways, y'all, thank y'all so much for watching. This was a video that will help you reflect. Men, if you're watching, leave this in the comment. How did this video make you feel? Because my frustration was coming out at this lady. This man have more patience than me, because if it was me, I would have walked off long time. I would have walked off at the 30-second mark. I'll be like, figure it out yourself. Do it yourself then. You good. You have it. You have it, Miss Marty Pants. You have it. Do it yourself. Some of these men have so much patience. Like, y'all good. But anyways, y'all, it's your girl Chantelle. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please leave your thoughts in the comment section. If you have not already, go ahead and hit the like button. And young ladies, as I'm encouraging you to just self-reflect, right? Look within. Is this you? Do you have some qualities? What qualities toxic traits do you have that you would have to work on before you become qualified for the kind of man you want? And bear in mind, so it's not a one-way street. I know the chicken heads won't come over here and talk about something, blah, 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 whatever you say, let's sit in the corner. It is not a one-way street, because a lot of these men also have to do the work. That's a topic for another day we can talk on. How some of these single mama raised men. Yeah. Anyways, thank y'all so much for watching. Hit the like button, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care, y'all.
All right. So for the masculine men that we want, Like she said, ladies, this is our opportunity to self-reflect and see if we see ourselves in any of these behaviors. Do you have that argumentative streak? Do you think it's cute that you like to debate? Do you think that you're a know-it-all and everybody has to know how smart you are? Have you gotten feedback? We talked about that in the wife class. Some of the ladies said, you know what? I've gotten some feedback that I could be stubborn, that I could be difficult, that I could be argumentative, and I want to get better. That's where it starts with, ladies. So if you've gotten that feedback, it's good to act on it, because eventually the men will just stop talking. Because like Lucy said, they don't need us, they choose us. What would you add, Lucy?
I love Chantelle and that accent. When she gets excited, it gets heavier. I love it. But, it's true. She talked about, how she started seeing, the friends that she hung around with, and she was able to self-reflect and say, wow, I am the total sum of the 5 friends that I've been hanging around. And she said it, she's been to therapy and she's been working on it. And that's, and when men see that, they give us grace, because we women and our emotions, we can be a lot. And God bless my husband. Every time I talk about him, because sometimes we can be a lot and more. So again, if you have a good husband, it's a good video to reflect and say, wow, am I like that? And start changing little by little, baby steps.
I absolutely love that. I want to see what you all say in the chat, and then we will wrap up. But Lucy is right. And here's some tangible things that you all can do, ladies. If you see these traits in yourself, now you can nip it in the bud immediately. You don't have to make a big deal about it. If you know that you are argumentative, stop. Learn to sit in that silent moment and not always have to have the last word. If you have chaotic friends or family, it's coming up on that time of the year, you're going to have to make some decisions. And I'm not telling you to cut people off, but there may be some people that you have to love from a distance. Maybe you see them less often. If you're always going to happy hour with your ratchet friends, maybe you see them once a month on a Saturday afternoon for a picnic, when it's, just you and them in a safer environment. But don't bring that chaos into your relationship, because I do love what Chantelle said. Our men are very patient. They do know that as women, we have a little bit of chaos. Take it from your favorite extrovert. I have been told, babe, you're kind of a lot. And it hurts at the moment, but we have to receive that feedback and understand that, like my man said, a man's life is already hard. The reason why they even want a relationship, it should make it easier. A man is not going to put up with the relationship that adds hard onto his already hard life. So if he doesn't drop his shoulders when he's with you, if he doesn't sit back and relax and leave the world outside to fight another day, but with you, he can be like, you know what, it's all good over here. You got some work to do. Let's see what you all are saying in the chat. One love to the panel. Oh, 33 years married. Thank you, XD. Yes, and the home fires are still burning. I love that. Ladies, this personal development journey is going to take us the rest of our lives, and that's okay. Like Lucy said, our men will give us grace for effort. They will see. You don't have to be perfect, but you need to be getting better and notice some things that you can fix without them having to say so. Jurgen says, how often is the way out of a relationship planned before the wedding? That's so sad. Yeah, it's so rare now that women are even getting married. The fact that people treat it like a game, I think they deserve to be single. Irving says, this is what men do in sports. So that competitiveness, that shouting him down, that no, my way is right. This is what men do in sports. So ladies, if you have that competitive streak, your man is not going to see you as a feminine woman that needs protecting. He's going to see you as a masculine man that needs a challenge. And that's not what you want, believe me. XD says, my wife has never raised her voice at me, nor I at her over 33 years. I never want to go to bed upset. Oh, that just warms my heart. Gillis says, I agree with you, Maggie, 100%. I was referring to the point I made, how some people are innately evil. I agree with you. I've had to learn this. Relationships aren't for everybody. I want everybody to be happy, but everybody is not going to be. And I've had to accept that. Cannot be changed and fixed. It was a natural reflex for her. You're right. As soon as we saw him win, she got the screw face. Says a lot about her. Bert says, pitch a tent in the backyard, and I can't live with someone like that. Yes. Apoplectic watching this couple. Bert is going to move her out and move the dog in. Oh my gosh, that is bad. Yeah, he was very patient, but I think in the moment, because men are focused on the task, he wanted to get the bottles right and get it done. But ladies, you have to know that our behavior stays with our men long after. And because masculine men are men of few words, he's going to sit and think about that. And what we have to understand, ladies, is our behavior. Men don't look at it just like right now. He's thinking, can I live with this for the next 10 years, 20 years, 30 years? And so sometimes, ladies, when you get blindsided and a man is like, you know what, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let you do that on your own. And you're like, what happened? He has been collecting those data points and watching for consistency. And like Killa said, if this is just who you are, he's going to be like, yeah, I'm better off alone. Gillis is saying, right, Lucy, when I said I would understand, referring to the possibility, maybe it's redeemable if she celebrated, but she was naturally nasty. Oof. Yes, XD says the one thing you must have as a married man is patience. Sometimes you ladies, but they love us. I know, y'all. Oh, yes. And Condemned says, since his 30s, tolerance for foolishness has diminished. That's true, ladies. You don't have forever. Irving says, in the height of emotions, women can make wrong decisions, but something to be mindful of, and mindfulness is important. Ooh, XD says, go with her to a family cookout. If she starts showing her behind and flexing, make a plate and leave her there. Ladies, the men are always watching, and they may not tell you, so be grateful if they do. And Rodney says, a good man or woman is worth the grace they deserve. We all have our moments of craziness. Yes. And shout out to the long marriages. That's what we want here. That's what we want. Ladies, we want you to win. Jurgen's parents were married for 62 years. Oh, it's okay. That is so heartwarming. That's relationship goals. All right. So we got to the end. Thank you, Chantelle, for letting us react to this video. Thank you, Condemned, for asking us to react to this video. Lucy, do you have any words to close us out?
No, this was a great video to react to at least for me, to reflect and make sure that I'm not using any of those masculine tactics with my husband of, many, many years. And again, it's for the ones that want to be wives and those that are young wives, just to be careful about how we respond to our husband's decisions, because again, they are the leaders in our homes, and you must allow them to make those decisions, because in the end, in this case, he got them all right.
I know. Can you believe that? He got them all right, and she was acting that way. And ladies, if you don't think so, give it a few years. When you get my age and Lucy's age, you're going to be craving a man to make decisions and let you just stay in a feminine place. So before we go, we have to say thank you to our stream sponsor. You all know him and love him. So he said I could do this one time. So I've been waiting. Give me 15 seconds.
Thane Mithra has spoken.
All right, I had to do that. Thank you, Thane, for the $100 super chat. But more importantly, thank you for supporting, protecting, and giving counsel to our community. That is the most valuable to me.
And thank you, the Condemned, for the $100 for the translation amount. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Lucy got a $100 cash app. Thank you, the Condemned. Oh my goodness. He says Kevin Samuels gave an analogy about what a man is most likely to approach and help: an injured rattlesnake or an injured bird. Ladies, are you a scorpion or a snake? UFO Kamikaze, I'm glad you liked it. Sinji says the look you give the missus when you hit your threshold, and she says, I got it. I'll leave it. Let's talk another time. Ladies, you got to study your man. read the room, and realize if now is a good time for him to be receptive or not. We got another one of our founding fathers in the class, BLJ. We were talking about you in class. He says, this is where the cool kids are located. We are here for you all Wednesdays and Saturdays twice a week. So we will see you all on the next one. We enjoyed having you all here and sharing. All right. Thank you all so much. And until next time.
Adios.
Adios.